Real freedom is
Okay, let's go.
Earground Radio. New voices amplified. Earground Radio.
Greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Earground New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Mark, and welcome to the program that brings you some of the interesting conversations around the different creative processes that are happening in Zimbabwe and also within the Zimbabwean diaspora. And it is such a difficult and a very sad moment that we have had a couple of young, amazing creatives from Zimbabwe that have passed on, from Delray Skara, a drama, and recently Calvin, a hip-hop artist, multi-award winning hip-hop artist from Lawayo. May his soul rest in peace. And today we're going to be talking about the European Film Festival Zimbabwe 2020, the virtual edition. And I'm humbled and honored to be joined by an esteemed panel, the people that are behind the festival: Roberta Wagner, Josh, as well as Gilmore. Welcome to Earground.
Thank you so much, Plot.
Great. This is the fourth edition of the festival, and maybe to just get a bit of an insight into the journey that the festival has gone, I will speak to Roberta. But before we get there, just a brief introduction as to who's Roberta, who's Josh, and who's Gilmore, and your involvement within the festival.
Ladies first?
Yes, ladies first.
All right. Thank you very much, Plot, for hosting us today. My name is Roberta Wagner. I'm from Germany, but I lived many years in Zimbabwe. During my time in Zimbabwe, I've been the director of the Goethe Center and an advisor to the Culture Fund Trust in Zimbabwe. And I started my journey with my own company 3 years ago, Endhouse Productions, and as Endhouse Productions I have been commissioned by the European Union to support the development of the film festival in Zimbabwe.
That's great. And Gilmore, you wear so many hats, so many jackets. Today you have the red one, but you are now involved in film. You have been involved in so many cultural initiatives. Tell us a bit more about
yourself. Thank you so much for having us on the platform. My name is Gilmore. I am the festival coordinator alongside Josh. Shame, Josh, you have to introduce yourself again. I've just told them what you should do just in case. I run a company called Paperback Africa, which is a content creation management and PR company. And for me, anything that allows the creative industry in Zimbabwe to grow and to sustain itself really attracts me. So it's the same thing with the European Film Festival. It's this year is quite interesting because there's so many aspects that we're introducing. So that's why I'm highly involved and I have so much energy, and I'm excited to be working with these two incredible individuals.
Wow, great. Thank you so much. And Josh?
Yeah, so my name is Joshua Chiundiza, festival coordinator alongside Gilmore, based in Harare. And I'm basically an artist. I'm interested mainly in video and audio, the audio aspects of art. I'm based in Harare. I've got a small studio that I set up over here that I operate. And I have a keen interest in film, which is one reason why I was keen to be a part of the film festival team. And it's been great.
Wow, great. And Roberta, you've been steering this ship for some time now. It's been 4 years, the festival running in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Take us through the journey of the festival and why the European Film Festival in Zimbabwe.
Yes. We started 4 years ago just with the idea that we should be doing something in film, showcasing European films. And the first 2 editions, it was the primary focus on just setting the tune of the festival, getting a team together, showcasing movies, and slowly develop a little bit more content-based ideas. It needs a while to actually develop a festival. You can't start with your vision. Your vision is something you develop over years. We have a vision, which is like a 10-year vision. But obviously, in order to get to that really great, amazing festival, there are lots of steps which have to put into consideration. So every year, we have been trying to add another layer to the festival. So we started very basic, just checking the ground. The second year, we try to look a little bit more on how our marketing looks like, who our multiplicators could be, how the team could be set up. And slowly, each year, we added some programs. Last year, that was year number 3, we added for the first time a masterclass with AK Simba. So that was our training tool to foster knowledge and to exchange also with the world through training programs. And then we had the input session where we involved local film practitioners to give us an insight of their own journey. And we had lots of conversations within the film sphere to kind of understand how we could position ourselves. So it's not only the 3 of us who come up with this, we also engage lots of to hear people out and to see how our journey could evolve slowly. This year is year number 4. Because of COVID, obviously, everything had to change. That was initially our plan to have an online festival. And together with the European Union, we discussed, and the member states, we discussed for a long time if this festival should actually happen or not, or what we could do. And then we thought it would be really a pity to just let it die its natural death just because of COVID. And also film, as we know it, is, I mean, the primary focus is digital. Netflix is very successful. So we thought we could actually aim in trying to give it a new life through online showcasing. But then also additionally, our big interest was to remain our partnerships with the people in Zimbabwe who have been part of the development of the festival for 4 years now. So we actually started, through this process, we actually started developing content. For example, maybe I'm not going to give you the whole insight. As an example, Maverick Media has been our provider in terms of screens and sound, but we don't have a physical festival. So naturally, we would not be able to work with them. But in order to give everybody a little bit of the festival atmosphere, we still engaged with partners and we still gave them new programs to work on. So, for example, Maverick Media is working on a TV show for us, so they are now developing content instead of just producing or giving us the screen. So every partner we have been working with over the years, they actually now have a new way of working with us. So we changed around everything a little bit more. And then maybe one interesting aspect to highlight on is that we also realized through now being digital, we are actually communicating worldwide. Before, we were only communicating in Zimbabwe. But now, because of this new way of thinking, it actually gives opportunity to talk to film practitioners in South Africa, in America, in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. So we are engaging actually people on a very different level because we are saying we can have an interview on Zoom. You know, I sit in Germany, Josh in Gilmore in Zimbabwe, other people are in Los Angeles, but we are still connecting to the digital world. And that actually gives the festival also a new life.
Wow. Giving the festival a new life, that is quite interesting, especially in the face of the new normal and the global pandemic that we're facing. Ladies and gentlemen, just stay tuned. We're taking a very small break, and then we're coming back. I'll be speaking to Josh and Gilmore on their roles and what has been done so far with regard to the festival. But stay tuned. Egrand New Voices Amplified. And we are back. We're talking there to Roberta, Gilmore, and Josh, speaking about the European Film Festival Zimbabwe 2020, which is the 4th edition and the virtual edition, actually. And Roberta was taking us through the festival and the journey that the festival has gone through and the different transformations, and quite interesting in terms of how the festival has evolved, and now in the face of the new challenges that we face with COVID-19, the festival still in resilience and defiance forges ahead. Gilmore,
Yes,
we have
sir.
had so far the masterclass call, which ended on the 14th, as well as for the 14th of October, as well as the call for the Bioscope short film project. How was the response? How has been the feedback from the film practitioners?
I think for the Bioscope, we're very skeptical because we're not really sure how people are going to respond to it, seeing that it's a new edition this year. Because last year, the masterclass, the input sessions were added, but this year, the Bioscope is a new edition, which I think is very important for the film industry in Zimbabwe, because what we're simply saying is we're exchanging culture through the films. But also, we need to recognize that there's filmmakers in Zimbabwe that exist, and also not just in Zimbabwe, but there's Zimbabweans across the European continent that also are into film. So the response was quite overwhelming, Josh. I think 48 films, short films were submitted from Zimbabweans within Zimbabwe and across the European continent. And I think that's very exciting because we've been looking forward to getting Zimbabweans to tell their stories. And the platform, European Film Festival platform, also gives that opportunity, just not the education part, but also can we tell our stories and can we allow people to get an insight on what Zimbabwe is all about through the platform.
Wow, great. Josh, the masterclass, how was the response as well?
Well, the response, looking at it from the two different, because it's being hosted in Harare and it's been hosted in Loya.
Yeah.
The response in Loya was actually really good from the get-go. In Harare, it was a bit slow, but we managed to get a full class. And it's something that we're really looking forward to because we are now continuing from where we left off last year. It was very important for us to have that continuity because I think a lot of the times you start something and then you sort of like cut it off halfway without actually bringing it into completion. I think when you're dealing with film or any sort of creative process, it's important to sort of ensure that you work to complete it and have, in this case, in terms of the masterclass, have a better understanding of the subject, which is understanding your frame, which is being hosted by AK Simba again, a subject that is very important in terms of giving film identity, like understanding props, understanding, like designing a set and being able to sort of tell a story without necessarily using words, but just like giving that feel that represents where you're from and what you're about. So yeah, it's been good and we're looking forward to seeing how it unfolds.
Wow,
but
great.
Josh, we should not forget to mention that John Jang, an incredible filmmaker from Zim, saying we are also going to be part of the facilitators. Yes. We were excited, I think, about that one. Josh was more excited. I'm even shocked he couldn't mention that.
Wow. Great. You mentioned John Jang, and it brings into perspective Zimbabwe's first appearance on Netflix, which was a production Cook-Off by John Jagu and Thomas Brickhill. I want to go to Roberta and talk about the involvement of the local film practitioners in the film festival, considering that it's a European film festival, but Zimbabwean edition. How many or how much do we have in the local?
Yes, this year it has a little bit been challenging because we could not meet people directly. So everything is virtually, everything has to happen on a phone call. And then also due to the situation, not everyone is always available. So there has been a little bit of a challenge in that regard. But nevertheless, I feel we are slowly getting into the sphere where people know this festival. Yes, it's a showcasing of European films. That is one of the mandates. Nevertheless, we are also transitioning into a festival where we are trying to work with the people in Zimbabwe, the filmmakers, the practitioners in Zimbabwe. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, we are not doing anything holistically. We are always engaging, we are always having conversations. The Bioscope has been really great for us to actually put a footstep into that sphere, trying to say your stories matter to us, and these stories, people will win a cash prize, people will be recognized through that festival platform, and I think this is a very important stepping stone for us. This is still in the humble beginning, so obviously over the years we will continue working on that. And this is our first learning curve to see actually what a response is and if this is actually something of interest to the film sector. But the winning films obviously now have then also a respectable film festival where they can say, I won actually a category, and that is the recommendation to enter other film festivals worldwide. And we have also used the digital platform Film Freeway, which is the leading digital platform for film. So once filmmakers in Zimbabwe are able to use that, it gives them actually a wider reach as well. Once you're on that freeway platform, you can actually, with one mouse click, you can enter into so many other festivals. And I think this is also what we are looking at, not only how we can involve the communities, but also how communities now can reach the world through the platforms we are creating.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Still on that note, you speak about connecting Zimbabwean filmmakers also to the international film space. When I looked at the facilitators that are part of the program, I see Zimbabwean filmmakers that are based or living in the diaspora who are part of some of the major film productions. I saw Sibongile Mlando, and then there's Leroy Gopal, and there's also John Jagu, as well as Thomas Brickhill. But also you brought in Valeria from Kaimi Europa. Can you just shed a bit more light about how this is going to help the Zimbabwean film industry?
I think what we are looking at, and again, I always want to highlight that we are in progress, that we are in development. I think what we are trying to do is through these, also by putting together the jury, the jurors of the competition, you can see that we have people from Europe, from Zimbabwe, and from the Zimbabwean diaspora. And I think through these networks, people start forming their own relationships and their own networks. And we want to be kind of a vehicle for these kind of connections, so that the festival becomes actually known for creating networks and being able to say, this is a really great filmmaker, this is a really great producer, maybe you guys should meet, because our festival should offer that platform. And that is what we started last year with the input sessions. But last year, the input sessions were very locally inclined. So we asked practitioners from Zimbabwe. This year, the idea was that we are bringing in now practitioners from all over the world, plus the Zimbabwean filmmakers, to come together at an input conference. Obviously, because of COVID, this could not happen, but this is still one of our aims, that we want to really bring people together as a festival.
Oh, great.
To create
Gilmore,
networks.
Awesome. Gilmore and Josh, you guys are on the ground. You see the gaps, you see the challenges, but you also see the opportunities. When you're looking at the European Film Festival in Zimbabwe, what would you say has been sort of the impact or presents as sort of the opportunities for creating impact for the local film industry?
Yes. I think one of the main things, I think one of our main sort of goals has always been to work with the young people. And I think that we have really done our best to engage, in particular, student film practitioners. We've managed to work with the University of Zimbabwe. Managed to create a relationship with the National University of Science and Technology, and I think just through those two platforms, really, we have managed to sort of establish a point of contact where we understand what young people are trying to say in terms of the films that they're producing, and also just offer them a platform where they can engage with internationally acclaimed film practitioners. And I think just that connection in itself creates like a synergy where people can just speak their minds and share ideas and be inspired to create more. I remember one of the talks actually given by Peter Mtanda, who is one of the lead lecturers at the University of Zimbabwe, where he said that young filmmakers have no excuse. You can use anything to make a film. You can just pick up your phone and just start creating. And I think that's very important considering where we are, considering that we're in Zimbabwe, where things are quite difficult. It's not easy to go and rent a $500 camera and create some incredible blockbuster film, but you can still tell your story using whatever you have. And I think that's very important.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think in addition, Claude, to what Josh said, I think we have created like a skills exchange platform where there's this cross-pollination that's happening in terms of exchanging skills between people within Zimbabwe and across the globe. And I think one of the most exciting ones is the input sessions, because you don't have to be physically in Zimbabwe, but you can do it over your Skype, over your Zoom, like how we are all connecting right now, because we're all in different parts of the world. So that's the beauty of the internet. But the beauty of the European Film Festival is the fact that we've managed to create a platform where people exchange knowledge, where people create synergies, because you find out that after they've interacted with AK Simba, after they've interacted with Sibongi Mlambo, they continue that relationship. We're not there anymore as the coordinators of the festival, but what we've done, we've facilitated for synergy to happen, and which is important because we're only stronger if we exchange skills and we know what works in Germany, what works in Belgium, what works in South Africa, what works in Zimbabwe, and we all share that knowledge and we create something. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the fact that the festival is also not just film, it has also given a platform for other creatives within Zimbabwe to showcase their skill, because we understand that film doesn't operate in a vacuum. So for a film to be there, sometimes you watch a film because there's good music. You watch a film because there's good art. You watch a film because there's good lighting and good costumes and the props. So we recognize that, and then we also have engaged local performers to be part of the festival. It's been happening for the past 3 years, and it's exciting.
Wow. This is exciting to hear. And so in addition to what Josh and Gilmore were saying, Roberta, what would you say in terms of value addition, in terms of the festival? Because you have spoken passionately about evolving, changing with the times, transfer of knowledge. And you have worked in Zimbabwe with the Culture Fund, you have worked with the Good Institute and interacted with creatives in the country. So you have not just an outside perspective, but a very inward perspective of the scenario there and the dynamics. What's your perspective?
Yeah, I think maybe I can speak a little bit of our inward scope or maybe perspective, because I feel it's really interesting as a team, as a festival team, as creatives who are working on this festival. I think we are really proud of the fact that we kind of keep on thinking if we are doing the right thing. We keep on questioning our festival. We have a lot of internal discussions, so we're not just, it's just not me saying, okay, this is what we're doing, or Joshua is saying, this is what we're doing. We have actually a lot of conversations around, are we doing the right thing? How could we change? Did this work? We are very critical of ourselves. We are very critical of our program. Some things work, some things not. We have also failed in certain things, and we can learn from that. And I think this is something where I feel, I really love working with Gilmore and Joshua, because we have such creative conversations, but also we can be so critical about ourselves. And that is for me a quality which I wish could be more visible in the Zimbabwean creative sector, because that is how we can step forward. We are all not perfect. We are all learning. And particularly this year with the digital festival, we are learning so much. There are so many questions we had, and we are still having questions. Still don't know if we reach enough people, if our programs make sense. So that is maybe a factor I would like to really point out, because it gives me the feeling that we are on track by kind of being very critical as well.
Okay, great. And you speak about the program there. What can we expect in the program? Do you have an idea as yet of some of the films that we're going to be?
Yes. Actually, we are waiting desperately for the program. It's actually supposed to come out tomorrow. So tomorrow should be the day of unveiling the program. But we have definitely lots of European films. We have short films. We have a couple of films from Africa. We have one Namibian film, one Ghanaian film. And we are having, of course, the winners of the short film competition. We will also showcase those movies. Then we have obviously the masterclass, which is not so much on the program, but it's part of the festival. But then also the input sessions, which we are currently recording, are really interesting film practitioners from all over the world. I'm very excited about that. So that will be part of the program as well. Have I forgotten anything? We are actually working on a documentary, an internal documentary about our festival, kind of showcasing a little bit the development the festival has gone through from year 1 to year 4. And also Maverick Media is working on a TV show. So we are kind of bringing the winners of the film competition together, of the Bioscope, to highlight actually the Zimbabwean filmmakers. So there will be a lot of conversation around that. And I feel I forgot something.
I don't know. I think it's just going to be high energy. It's going to be high energy. And
That's
the
gonna be
fact that
good.
it's running over 1 month, everyone can go watch it. Because a lot of people were saying, you know, we don't have, what about internet? Oh, yeah, we're going to be trying to put hotspots across the country so that people can go and watch the films. So possibly we'll announce that through different advertisements on our platforms and on your local favorite radio stations or TV stations, whatever.
Great. There's somebody who's watching right now who missed the masterclass. They missed also the Bioscope short film contest but they're passionate about film. They're already working in film, and they're hearing about the festival now. They want to be part somehow. They want to engage with the festival. How best can they be in touch? How can they? Is there space for them even?
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's always space. I think the beauty about what we're doing this year, the fact that the festival is running from the 30th of October until the 30th of November, it gives us enough time to sort of maneuver and fix and tweak things and incorporate new things. I think we're quite good when it comes to replying messages on Facebook. So I mean, like, our Facebook platform is really good for engagement in terms of asking questions and in terms of just like sharing thoughts and any comments. And I think the input sessions would be something that they should look out for, because we intend on talking about a lot of things, and we intend on creating a platform that's interactive as well. So we would love to hear what Zimbabwean filmmakers are thinking about certain subjects. And I think the input sessions, I would say, would be the one thing to look out for and participate in.
Oh, great. I remember last year speaking to one of the participants at the input session who had learned and sort of benefited so much. Is there anything that anyone could look forward to in the input sessions this year?
I think with our input sessions, we've tried to diversify the topics because, you know, when you're talking about film, there's the financial side of film, there's the technical side of film, there's the props, there's also the voiceovers, because there's other film people that focus on voiceovers and others on different accents. So we've got all those variety of topics being covered by some of the most outstanding practitioners in the film industry. So I think that's something that they need to watch out for, because the moment you get into a creative industry and you get into the film sector, you should operate as a full business. So most of our subjects are covering that, to say, how do you maneuver around this? How do you manage this? How do you do this? How do you sustain yourself? So with all those subjects, and I think everybody really should be, if you're a film practitioner, you need to actually be on the lookout for the input sessions.
Wow. Beyond the lookout for the input sessions, beyond the lookout for the festival as well. It's happening from the 30th of October until the 30th of November, a whole month. So definitely there's everything for everyone there, and, you know, long enough for you not to miss out. Your last words to people that are watching the program now. on how to connect, how to access the films. I know you've mentioned the platform at the beginning, but maybe to reiterate again how people can be able to access the films and also see the program.
I think very important is to tune into our social media channels because all the information will be posted there. We are releasing the link, the official website link for where the films can be watched next week, just shortly before the festival because it's still in the making. Once that is ready, it's going to be publicized on our social media platform. So I think best is to like and become a friend of our festival because all the information will be placed there.
Oh, great, great. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was awesome speaking to you, Roberta, Josh, and Gilmore. And I look forward to an exciting festival. And we're humbled and honored to be part of the festival team this year. And we look forward to an exciting festival.
Thank you, Plot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you. So to everybody who's watching, I was speaking there to Josh, Gilmore, and Roberta, who are behind the European Film Festival Zimbabwe edition, happening this year for the 4th time. And it's happening for a month, starting on the 30th of October until the 30th of November. And it's filled with a lot of programming, different films that are going to be showcased there, not only films from Europe, but also from around the world, including Africa. And there's an interesting short film component, which is going to see a number of films coming from Zimbabwe, as well as an input session for filmmakers and anyone who's involved and interested in the creative processes that are involved in the film industry. So until next time, stay tuned. And here we'll be giving you all the exclusive information, updates on what's happening, but also all the links to access, the different activities that will be taking part. But like and follow the European Film Festival Zimbabwe page, and then you see all the information there on Twitter, on Instagram, and also on Facebook. Great. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Plot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lord.
It was really great. Thank you.
Thank you.